heart pounding, drenched in sweat.
You got this!
And no excuses. These are the greatest workouts in America.
We as humans are far more capable than we believe.
No matter the odds,
think about the end result.
Get out there and get going.
We're gonna start with 45 minutes.
This is Pumped.
Over the past decade, youth sports have been struggling. 70% of kids now quit their team by the age of 13, and with recent COVID restrictions, over 50% of parents say their kids are getting less physical activity. But for coaches who want to help their kids get back on the field, there's a new app helping to prevent burnout and boredom at practice.
21! Great job, girls!
So this is the Mojo app.
It features in-depth training videos and minute-by-minute practice plan.
I'm about to connect with Ben Sherwood, the man behind this app and my former boss at ABC. Ben, it's so good to see you again. I remember fondly when you were coaching our softball team at ABC News. I know you are a devoted coach to your two sons. Talk about how exciting it is to launch this app.
It's incredibly exciting. The most fun I've had in the last 12 years was on the playing fields and courts of baseball and basketball and flag football and soccer. I'd experienced as a coach all kinds of aggravation and frustration with the resources that are out there right now. And I thought using technology and storytelling, you could do a lot better and you could help parents everywhere have more fun with their kids on the field. There is a big inequality problem in the country and also in youth sports. There's a big divide between haves and have-nots. And at Mojo, we are totally committed to trying to help level the playing field between haves and have-nots. It's one reason that we made the app free this year, so that everybody can have access to great coaching help and advice. But we've also partnered with Coaching Corps, which is sort of like a Peace Corps for volunteer coaches.
Coaching Corps works to get kids in low-income communities an opportunity to play sports with trained coaches. Twice as many kids in middle and upper middle class communities play sports than kids in low-income communities do. And Mojo is going to enable coaches around the country to be able to coach without having to put all the stress and apprehension into it, and instead focus on building strong relationships with the kids who need it most.
Whether you've never coached before, whether you've coached a few times, whether you've coached a few seasons, or whether you're expert, we wanted to make it so easy for you to take the jump and get out there and get outside with your kids and have a blast. It's not just the kids who grow, it's the parents who grow too. And I think that's why we think this is such a magical moment.
Well, so excited to reconnect with you, Ben, and to see this app take off in the days ahead.
And remember, we've got soccer now, Michael, and then we'll be bringing in new sports so that not only will you be able to do this with soccer, but then when you switch from soccer to basketball in the winter or Little League in the spring, Mojo will have you covered.
Incredibly generous and exciting to be giving these tools to so many coaches around the country. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Michael. Talk soon.
Up next,
With the 2020 ESPY Awards on ESPN coming up on June 21st, ESPN radio stations around the country went in search of some of the most extraordinary high school and college athletes in the country. So we sat down to check in with 6 nominees for honorary ESPY Awards. Senior year for a lot of kids in your class has been disrupted by COVID-19. Talk about how that kind of impacted your senior year.
I got one indoor race in before everything just started getting canceled. It definitely just took away my track season, which is kind of a bummer.
It was just a shock, not to be able to play anymore for the rest of the season.
I was a 5th-year senior, so I came back just to play baseball. I had 1 year left, so that's what I wanted to do. It was just a roller coaster of emotions. Once we found that out, I broke down emotionally. I started crying. All of our teammates gathered and we were all, hugging each other and, saying how much we appreciate and love one another. And it was just very tough.
I want to break the 200 record dealing with Corona, COVID-19. It kind of took away my last year that I really wanted to make a statement in.
I actually had a great beginning of my season. I was doing super well. I was playing a lot. I was doing really well hitting. And it was I was so excited. I was this is it. This is the year. And then when COVID happened, I was wow, of course, the 1 year, I'm healthy. I have a great mindset. I've been doing well. this happens.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, starting with the introduction to who you are and what you've done recently.
I just graduated college yesterday, actually.
And you're the only Ethiopian D1 basketball player in the country right now?
Yeah, I was the only Ethiopian Division I basketball player. It was really successful 4 years for me, and we were 30-5 my junior year, and we made it to the NCAA tournament.
I'm a senior that just graduated. I run cross country and track, and I hold the 1,600 meter record at the high school.
I played softball at Binghamton University for the last 4 years.
I'm a graduate from Zachary High School, and I'm a track athlete.
I go to LSU Laboratory School, and I play basketball, volleyball, and I run track.
I went to Sportsman University, played baseball there, and I was a left-handed pitcher. Coming out of high school, I've always wanted to play college when I was a kid, so that was like my number one thing. I made it to the next level. I had about like 45, maybe 50 innings pitched. I had like a 2.7-ish ERA, 2.6, and I was named all D3 team. So it was pretty cool to like get that accomplishment. And then we also won 2 championships during my time there too.
3-time defending 400 champ, 2-time defending 200 champ. I won Gatorade Player of the Year for Louisiana, most valued athlete for the state track meet 2 years in a row.
All Metro last year on the volleyball team. We were state runner-up 2 years ago, and we finished in the quarterfinals last year for volleyball.
My mile PR is a 4:13, 3-mile PR, that's 14:46. I got second in state.
I used to be a cross-country runner back in high school. I wasn't even close to where you were in the pack. You're leading the charge out there in Illinois. What's the feeling you get when you run?
It's definitely a mental challenge, just trying to keep going, keep pushing the whole time.
My junior year when we won it, and I remember looking up at the shot clock, celebrating with my teammates, you know, all those suicides, all those conditioning, weights, like it was worth it.
During volleyball season, we played St. Joseph's Academy, and in the entire history of my school, we had never beaten them. But that game, we actually won, and it was just one of the most amazing experiences of my life.
I really enjoyed like the times, like the games were super close, where you have to be in it from the beginning to the end. That's where you see like great things happen. Just getting save on a base like was always the greatest feeling ever.
Now you're nominated for this honorary SB, and how did that feel?
It's an honor. It's a huge honor, and you know, I'm just happy to be nominated.
I never thought this would happen. It feels really good.
When this happened and I was nominated, it was kind of just like, it was like, it's a great thing, and I'm just super excited about it.
Once you hear the word SB and you know everyone knows what that is, it's like, oh my God, that's so cool. It's definitely a cool thing to have under your belt.
I've worked really hard, and not just in sports, but in every aspect of my life, and it feels like it's paying off.
Knowing that all the hard work paid off, which it paid off regardless, even if I win or not, because nominated, it's just a big accomplishment right there. So if I won, it'd just be a great accomplishment to bring back the award to my family, really.
Later.
As I went to tournaments around the country, I didn't see a lot of children from Hispanic and African American culture. So I said, you know what? Yeah, I'm in my 50s now, so I gotta make a change here.
You're watching Pumped.
He loves it. He loves archery, all right? When it rains, he goes out and shoots. Most people run from the rain. He practices in the rain. He's not afraid of the wind. He just steps out there and he just does what he needs to do. That's why I said he is a phenomenal young archer. And I have to say young because he has done so much by the age of 16. Tomorrow is wide open for him. It really is.
In 2017, I became the first African-American national champion. In 2018, I won indoor nationals in Vegas. 2019, I won indoor nationals Vegas and the Lancaster Archery Classic.
Come on through. Good. Keep your hand on your face. Really good. Keep your hand right there. Yeah. So we're working on that, huh?
Yeah.
But I see for him in the future, an accomplished Olympic athlete. That's where I see him. I got into archery at the age of 5, and my father used to work for a bow company that made bows, a location in Queens. And he took myself and my 2 other brothers out to the garbage dump in Queens and taught us how to shoot. And I was the only one that stuck to it. I've been shooting ever since then. From coming to Proline for years, people knew I was into archery. And then I started working in the school system teaching archery. Much better, much better, much better. Yeah, much better. Nothing moved. I started working at Columbia, I think it was 2003. From Joe, one of the owners here, recommended me for Columbia to teach archery there, and I went for the interview and I got the job. As I went to tournaments around the country, I didn't see a lot of children from Hispanic and African American culture. So I said, you know what? I'm in my 50s now, so I gotta make a change here. And so I decided to step down from Columbia and teach it in the public school system. And sure enough, that's what I started doing. I've been doing that now going on, I think 18 years. Absolutely, absolutely, good shot, good shot.
I got into archery from a friend of my mom. She had a flyer. She actually met Coach Brown at the post office, and Coach Brown gave her a flyer, and she bought it to my mom, and said it was a free Saturday program. After my first time going to the Saturday program, I was like, it was kind of a big eye-opener.
She took her son to every major event to toughen up his skin over a period of time. Even beyond the child, I would go to the parents first because they actually set the pathway for the child. Kids have ideas and desires, but parents set the pathways for them. Good execution, but it's exactly what happened. You're here, you're here, and as you came through, you came up a little bit.
I figured it's
you
like
came
it
up a
didn't
little bit.
feel as strong as the first one.
At one point, I was kind of wearing him out, and then after a while, he started wearing me out, and he's been doing it ever since, okay? He shoots very, very well.
He wants to see it done the right way. Like, there's other ways to get around certain things to do archery. If it works for you, it works, so keep doing that. But at the same time, you still want to try to keep the form intact and make sure you're doing it the right way.
He takes information, processes it, and uses it in an honest way.
I feel like I would be a little bit more immature as a 16-year-old if it wasn't for archery and Coach Brown. So I am grateful for him helping me to grow as a young man. So yeah, it's been more like kind of tied into like a family type thing. So it's not just a regular coach-student dynamic. It's more we've grown closer as the years come. So last year I was a little nervous. No, this year it's not happening no more.
If you shot the way you shot, you were nervous, boy. I hate to see when you're not nervous anymore.
I'm not nervous anymore, I know that much. That's what I know.
Up next.
A lot of people don't know, but Native Americans invented the game of lacrosse.
Creator's game. Nowadays, we don't really worship the game, but that's totally fine because you're doing it for a really good cause.
And later...
Well, you join me live for what I've been told is the Tooting Dogging Final, and these two, Vanilla and Chocolate, doing really well here. Vanilla just over the hillock in the distance, Chocolate in hot pursuit. There's been some lovely footwork, and there it is again from Vanilla. That's excellent. The Spaniel now out in front, and that's confused the hell out of it.
You're watching Pumped.
Shoot behind the back so you can just
My parents were born in Africa and Guinea. I was the first girl born in America. They think that this can get me somewhere.
Because this is more than about lacrosse. This is about getting a great education and learning discipline.
Yeah. Here we go, Saran. Pick it up and get that thing moving right away.
Good D. Use the space, use the space. Haas cut through. They wanted me to play a sport because they think I'm tiny.
So your parents had never heard of lacrosse?
No. Here we go, Saran. All right, D up, D up. Oh, pass. Here we go, Cam. Moving, moving.
Shot.
Keep moving around, Dan.
And you tell me about the headscarf.
So it's a part of my religion. I just wear it to show I'm different. Just because I'm playing lacrosse doesn't mean I'm gonna look like everybody else. And I like showing that I am Muslim. I wouldn't take it off for anything.
And for those who don't know, why do you wear the braid?
I wear the braid because I'm tiny Native American, so it's like a part of me. It would be like cutting off my arm or cutting off my leg.
And a lot of people don't know, but Native Americans invented the game of lacrosse.
Creator's game, and we played for land, and it was just for peace. Nowadays, we don't really worship the game, but that's totally fine because you're doing it for a really good cause, and I'm really happy with that.
Oh, let's go Lions! Oh, let's go Lions! Oh, let's go Lions!
A couple years ago, the New York City Parks Department, they wanted to turn the handball courts into a basketball court. We had a dozen kids go down to a community board meeting, and listening to two of the leaders on the team speak up about their experience and what this spot means to them and how it can't be basketball. They want lacrosse. Lacrosse is their ticket. Lacrosse is where they're successful. And then have the community board be really receptive. They urge the Parks Department to leave the handball courts as is.
This is their home. We've also been able to repaint the benches and plant flowers around the area and want to keep it looking amazing and staying awesome.
Some lacrosse fields, they're manicured lawns, but you said you prefer to play here on the blacktop.
Yeah, I really like playing here. It's the place I started. This is a safe spot.
Katie. Low left. Here we go. We want to keep the play flowing. We get the defense moving on a deceptive pass. We want to keep that ball moving. Cam, that's the way that's the purpose behind the backhand. Not just doing it for the sake of doing it with a purpose.
Lacrosse is like the reward at the end. You have to do well in classes.
I wasn't a good student. Now with lacrosse, I want to be the best that I can be.
They really have started to change the face of lacrosse, and people don't look at them, oh, it's the black team, it's Harlem Lacrosse.
In middle school, I was a natural shy person. And then I started to join this team, and all throughout middle school and all throughout high school, I had a family. And also I had another family, which was the boys team. We're all one and we're all united.
It's the only thing that I could fall back on when I have nobody to fall back on. So like I can go get my mind off of things, play lacrosse.
You're watching Pumped.
Crossroad dash, light turns to red. We wait for the beats. There they are now then. JD Sportsman, he's got a decent start. Leggings on the outside. Oh, JD Sportsman's been distracted over the shoulder.
Your commentary on everyday life has made it across the pond, as they say. How do you kind of get into this world of finding what seemingly mundane things and making them the subject of your voice?
Through boredom, probably, is the first answer. A case of seeing the sporting engagements disappearing off the horizon.
Well, you join me live for what I've been told is the tooting dogging final, and these two, Vanilla and Chocolate, doing really well here. Vanilla just over the hillock in the distance, Chocolate in hot pursuit. There's been some lovely footwork, and there it is again from Vanilla. That's excellent. The Spaniel now out in front, and that's confused the hell out of it.
You are a rugby announcer, and kind of translate that style of speech into announcing people in your neighborhood, or where are these videos coming from?
It's a parody voice rather than the one I use to actually do my rugby work in. I've been shooting everything in my area. I live in southwest London area called Tooting. I think because of the notoriety that the region's getting, it's almost becoming my love letter to where I live.
Something in maybe, I think there. Does he like it? Oh, it's got a whacking great big logo in the middle of it. Will he make do? Will he decide to go with it? Yes, it looks like he will. He will, and regret it later.
You've got now over 100,000 followers, and people all over the globe are kind of paying attention to your neighborhood now.
People are looking for a bit of escapism and a chance to have a bit of fun, and I've had hundreds, if not thousands, of messages from people that seem to be telling me that that's what I'm giving them.
Gone with a slab of pate there. That's a safe choice, but so many hummuses in the modern game. I think we're going to see a refusal here.
Our everyday lives can be mundane, but that there's beauty in the mundanity sometimes, and we all have our neighborhoods, and they all mean something to us, and maybe we realize in times like this that they mean more to us than we thought they did.
This is the B team, and they're absolutely buzzing to be back. Many of us limited, of course, on filling our boots at the shops, but these guys are really going for it.
I love your wisdom, Nick, and your voice and your commentary, and so we got a chance to check in with you here, and definitely keep it coming.
Thank you very much. All the best to you and to everyone out there.
Coming up.
Walt Disney is kind of our patron saint for a lot of this. Much of our inspiration. We were actually thinking about how would Disney do this? Of course, with a lot less space.
You're watching Pumped.
This is nothing like your classic miniature golf. It's a place where your imagination gets to run wild. I like to think of us as a hidden gem. If you look from the outside, you might not even know what this is. As soon as you walk through the doors, you are hit with this sensory wonder. We have a bar and a full restaurant. It's just sheer joy. I have always loved mini golf, which is kind of what got me into this to start with. Walt Disney is kind of our patron saint for a lot of this, much of our inspiration. We were actually thinking about how would Disney do this? Of course, with a lot less space. We built things that are vertical as opposed to horizontals, fairly tight space. We like to think of these as kinetic sculptures or playable art. It has something of a steampunk theme. There's a lot of pieces here that reference San Francisco history. We have an earthquake hole. Yes, we've got buildings shaking. We've got Sutro Tower, or at least our version of Sutro Tower. And in fact, it has a vacuum that's built in, so when you putt in, the ball suddenly is pulled up and then goes around a series of rails and comes out. All an homage to this city that we live in. People who get to play get to interact with everything. We've got a full mountain, and you get to see this ball meandering through this mountain pass. There's even little dioramas. You might not notice them the first 2-3 times you play, but the more you look, the more you're going to see these wonderful little elements.
Bienvenidos, amigos. Who's the next player?
So we have one hole that's called the Dia de los Muertos, which is, of course, the Day of the Dead. And it is absolutely a darker, smaller space. There's a giant skull. In fact, I will tell you, there are more than 40 skulls and skeletons that are hidden. People don't expect a lot in terms of food at, say, a miniature golf course. So our intention was to surprise everyone with really good food. And we do have wonderful food, things like chicken and waffles and corn dogs, but also full entrees as well. We also have a full bar with a full liquor license. We've got wonderful cocktails. We've got a local beer list so that you can really enjoy and get a full sense of what San Francisco is about. You will see people of all ages and of all types mingling here. And there is a common language. It's this language of exploration, of fun, and of joy. And I think that plays through in everything that we do.
Have a favorite spot to get pumped? Tell us on social media.